on. I have to scratch this. Scratch this idea. This is not working. Oh yeah, I got new lights in my room. I got the daylights. I think it looks really good. Look really. On the stream earlier, I was talking about how I changed my template. Let's load it up real quick. You know, for being on a 2010 quad core Mac Pro, loads up pretty good. I do have an SSD drive that I'm running. That right now. So I was saying before, I just added this to my template. I'm in the midst of reorganizing my template. Thing about templates is they're ever evolving. They're always changing. So I just put this one in there. Ooh. This is Spitfire's felt piano. It's in their it's in Spitfire Labs. You make a donation, at least I think it's $2 or £2 or whatever. You can get this. So if you're not familiar with Spitfire Labs, go to spitfireaudio.com and check out their labs section. And if you donate money for their, I think it's called UNICEF, there's a bunch of little VSTs that they made that you can download. I think it's $2 each for each one, but it goes to a good cause. But yeah, I just got this one. Nice. So that's from the Star Wars Force Awakens, one of the trailers. So I guess this type of piano more for like an emotional thing. Let's see if it has. Doesn't have anything for the content or contact. This is what it is right here. It doesn't go in your library tab. So it's one that you just have to go into your files and load it up. But you know, for $2, can't beat it. Definitely if you're scoring something, you know, it has to be very kind of emotional and kind of light. I think that would work out very well. Sounds good. Gain pedal. Yep, it does. Cool. All right. So let's go through my template here. That piano, I wouldn't use it all the time. That's just, I got, as you can see, let's just start with pianos. We'll just go through my template because I don't think I went through it on the stream. So let's go through it real quick since we're not feeling the music yet. So this is a Cinematic Studio piano. Sounds really good. I got different pianos in here for different tones and stuff like that, you know, for different uses. But this is it right here. It looks like I have the closed main and room on. I don't have the spot on. Let's see. Let's just put the close on. I don't play piano. Very well, I should say. I'm faking it. I'm a guitar player. But I need to take lessons and learn how to play piano. I'm noticing more and more with this composing thing, it's pretty vital. So that's a cinematic studio piano right there. It's basically, there's an effects patch and then there's the piano patch. I don't have the effects patch loaded up. And then we just went through the Spitfire felt piano. I got, this is from Native Instruments, the Grandeur. I think it's a great piano. Sounds more like a, you know, traditional piano. You know, you can use this like in scores, like horror. I think it would be good for horror scores like that. Not just horror, but I mean, you know, like those action scenes or dramatic scenes, you know. Anyway, I think it sounds good. Also, I got reverbs on. I'm using just Cubase's reverbs. I found like a tutorial online to get from VI Control Forum how to with a reverb tail and everything like that. So it's kind of, I'm simulating a room. I'm still working on the whole reverb thing. Still trying to wrap my head around how it all works, placing instruments in the room, and like I say, this is all new to me. Here's Native Instruments, the Giant, cool piano. I have it set on a preset called I think it's Intimate. Yeah, Intimate. It just sounds cool. That Star Wars thing I was doing, this works perfect. Yeah. Who are you? I'm a huge Star Wars fan. We could save the Star Wars talk for later. Alright, there's the Gentleman. Another piano by Native Instruments. A very nice piano. I like it. Like I said, these are all just for different tones. I got Piano in Blue. This is Cinna samples. It's actually a pretty nice piano too. I mean, they all kind of have similar qualities, but you know, if you listen very closely, you can tell they have different, a different tone to them. And then this piano, this is something I'm just testing, called Piano in 162. I can't remember where I got this. What company makes it? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I believe it was free. Got more clingy, but it sounds nice. Oh, looks like I have ambience on. Sounds good. Close to the mic. Yeah, that's my pianos. So what I got for strings, let's see. We got Cinematic Studio strings. These are kind of new. We got the first violin, second, all broken up here. I'm not gonna go through every patch because we'll be here all night going through every patch that I have. I have 1,200 tracks in this template so far, and how I'm running this, I should have said, I'm running this all on one machine. It's on my Mac Pro. Like I said, it's a quad core from 2010. I got 32 gigabytes of RAM. So I mean, it's not the fastest machine. It's starting to show its age, but how I can make this all work, I mean, this is pretty impressive. I'm running the stream, have Cubase open, big template here. Relatively, it's not chugging, but I'm sure if I had, 30, 40, 50, 60 tracks loaded up playing, we'll start to see it. But right now, it's actually pretty handles it pretty nicely considering its age. Like I said, I have an SSD, but anyway, how I can do this, the great feature in Cubase is you can disable all these tracks. So all these tracks that if I had all these open, this computer would probably blow up. So you just couldn't do it with a template like this. You'd have to have a second computer, a slave computer, and all that. So that's something I'm looking at to doing in the future. I do have a MacBook Pro, one of the fairly new ones, the Retina ones. And I was thinking about turning my Mac Pro into a slave and then running it through the MacBook Pro. But the problem is it only has 16 gigabytes of RAM. But if I'm running a slave, it wouldn't really matter as much. But that's something I'm looking for maybe in the future, because I have to get Vienna Ensemble Pro to run. But anyway, so this is Cinematic Studio strings. Oh, there we go. As you can tell, I'm starting to get pops and clicks. This library, what I've noticed, it's a resource. Yeah, I'm getting clicks and pops. Well, I do have my buffer size really low. Got at 192. Probably need to bump it up here. So I get little clicks and pops. Yeah, some of these newer libraries, they're really resource heavy, especially when you're streaming like this. It just, on an older machine, it just can't keep up. But highly recommend Cinematic Studio strings. They're really nice. I just got these not too long ago. This is Cinna Strings Solo. Like I was talking about earlier, is I'm trying to break up the template even better for me to find stuff. So I broke it up into violin 1s and 2s, violas, cello, and bass. And I think that just makes it a lot easier. So if I'm not using a track here, I can close the folder. It's not getting in my way. That's one thing I've noticed when I'm composing. I'll have just all these tracks and just get lost trying to find stuff. I know with Cubase you can show and hide stuff, so I need to start utilizing that. Like I said, I'm new to Cubase. I used to use Logic, and that was one of the reasons why I switched over, is because I couldn't do this in Logic. I mean, you kind of can because you can freeze tracks, but not like what Cubase does. Is you can disable them. It takes them out, and that's the only way I can run this big of a template on this. Yeah, so Cinematic solo strings. These are Cinna strings. These are by Cinna Samples. I really like Cinna Sample stuff. All three libraries here: Cinna Strings Core, Cinna Strings Runs. That's all Cinna Samples. Really nice libraries. Cinna Orc. It's another Cinna Samples. I got some Spitfire here. I got Spitfire Albion 1 and Albion 2. Highly recommend if you're just getting into this kind of scoring stuff for films and video game stuff. I really recommend probably starting with Albion 1, and then if you can get Albion 2, it's really nice. Albion 2 has some really nice stuff. My favorite patch is the flaunt. These are just so beautiful. You can use this all day. They're very quiet, delicate, very nice. Love them. Right there, I mean, that patch right there is literally worth the price of Albion 2. The pizzicatos are really nice too. But the one thing about the library, it's very quiet and delicate. But the pizzicatos they're really nice. I really like them. Compared to like Albion 1, you know, it's very very loud and really nice. Those are the long strings. I use these quite a bit. These are really nice. Yeah, I mean I use those all the time. Very nice. Alright, so that's what I got for Spitfire with strings. And then Soaring Strings. These are really nice too. I haven't used them very much, so I don't really know a lot about them. I've just heard them, and I like the sound of them. Let's see, let's pull up. They're similar to the Spitfire, those last ones I just showed you. But these, more of a, you know, it's like they say soaring, so really nice. Ooh, my computer. I don't know if that's my computer or if that's the Soundflower. I mean, I'm telling you, the Soundflower's not really that great. Really like that Soundflower. Okay, yeah, Soaring Strings, really nice. Okay, I'm sick and tired of saying really nice. Symphony series string ensemble. These are native instruments. I think they worked with Sound Iron for these. I don't use them quite. I mean, I use them sometimes. If you're doing epic tracks, you know, epic music. I use these mainly for like staccato, the staccatos, and I blend them with Cinna strings and Albion 1 sometimes to get, you know, to really get a punch out of them, and they're really good. I like them. Let's see, let's open them up. Get the staccatos. They just, there we go. They're really loud, and the cool thing about them, oh, Audio Bro, sorry, not Sound Iron. They work with Audio Bro on these. I like the sound. You can split these up into VZ and stuff like that, which is really nice. But yeah, native instruments, you can get those. I think Audio Bro's site, and If you if you own any of the native instrument bundles, the completes, you get a discount price. So that's always nice. Reason why I picked them up. And I got orchestral strings runs. These are from Orchestral tools. On my future list would be Berlin strings, but they're very expensive. But that's something down the road maybe to get. But for right now, what I have here, I have a very good variety of string libraries. I predominantly use Cinna strings. I've been using those Cinematic Studio strings a lot to make layering them with Cinna strings. My philosophy is try to use the least. You know, we can get caught up in buying, but never creating music. You know, we're musicians, and you know, we hear this stuff, and we're always talking to other people, but you know, the average everyday person, they can't tell the difference. They really can't. They're not listening to, you know, oh my God, listen to the air on those. They're just listening to the emotional effect that our music can give them. That's where I try to put most of my energy into the music, and you know, the emotional quality, not is the sound, because you know, real people that, you know, they really can't tell the difference. Maybe a little on some stuff, but you know, they're so exposed now to you know, to virtual instruments now. I mean, most scores are virtual. You know, they're not real much anymore, and people are just so used to it. I try not to concentrate so much on the sounds and stuff and get technical unless I have to. So let's go on Woodwinds. I got Berlin Woodwinds. Like I said, this is Orchestral tools. They do Berlin strings. These Woodwinds are very nice. Man, they sound. Here, let's just pull up the flute. I like Cinna samples. Cinna Winds. They're nice. They're really great too. But that to me sounds like a real flute. Obviously, I have. Let me take the reverb off. Yeah, without reverb, it does not sound as good. Actually, there's a little bit of room in those. That's set to romantic. To be honest, I didn't really even go in here and mess with any of the settings. Like, this is all just right out of the box. I don't really like to get lost into all that stuff, but this is the interface here. Let's turn back the reverb. I get so used to that reverb, I can't listen to it without it. Ooh, sounds so much different. And that's the other thing. Reverb is your friend, but don't get too caught up in all that reverb stuff, because you can. Let's see. So that's the flute. Check out the clarinet. And you get like clarinets 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, and 3. Very Aaron Copland. That track while we were working on son reminds me of Aaron Copland. I've really liked sound. That's clarinet. So Berlin Woodwinds, I mean, a little pricey, but definitely worth the money. That's why I'm really eager to get Berlin strings. If the Berlin Woodwind sounds that good, I'm sure the strings sound just as good. Okay, so Cinna Winds core. Love Cinna Winds. Like I said, I love all Cinna sample stuff too. Let's listen to their flute legato. So you can tell totally there's a different tone to that compared to the this one. Let's play this one. This one sounds a little more smoother. Also, I have it set to romantic. Those are a little more bold. But in context, I don't think you can tell too much of a difference. Like, strings and percussion, all this stuff. But I do like Cinna Winds. That's Cinna Winds Core. Then they have Cinna Winds Pro, which it's just like the different like alto flute, and we misspelled flute. Not good. E. English horn, B flat clarinet, bass clarinet. So the one thing about Berlin Woodwinds is you have to have two different libraries here for Cinna Winds, and in Berlin Woodwinds, I believe, English horn comes with it. I think tunes. Let's see. So yeah, you don't get alto bass flutes or contrabass and all that stuff. So yeah. So we got Hollywood Winds, which is another Cinna samples. These are kind of like ensemble patches and runs that come with it, which is always nice, and textures and effects, which to be honest I don't think I've ever used. But I have them in the template just in case, because you just never know. So okay, here's brass. So brass libraries, I'm very picky with brass libraries because you can either brass libraries, you either get it or you don't. So Adventure Brass just came out. I like the playability of this library. I'm still getting used to it on how to play it and the way it sounds. Ooh, getting a lot of choppiness. These new modern libraries, man, they just kill my system. And plus I'm streaming, so. Which, it's gonna happen. But as you see, it says adventure horns, majestic staccatos. Ooh, man. But I really like this library. Like I said, I haven't used it very much, and I'm still, because I've been so used to Cinna samples brass library that it plays different. Ooh, we just killed that. Anyway, I mean, this sounds good. I'm so used to Cinna Brass Pro and Core, because that was the first brass libraries I ever got. So I would use it a lot. So basically, Cinna Brass Core is trumpet, horn, trombone, tuba, bass trombone, cymbasa. And Cinna Brass Pro, you get basically the same thing: trumpet, horn, trombone, tuba, ensemble. And then they have this monster little brass, which is nice. But I really like their horn. I'll show you. This is my favorite right here. The 12 horn ensemble. It's powerful. It sounds so good. What I was using on that track that we were, what I was trying to do before was the 6-horn. Yeah, 6-horn. This is what I was using. Really nice. There we go again. Really nice. You can play the really nice drinking game. Every time I say really nice, you have to drink. So yeah, and then we got Symphony series brass ensemble. So this goes along with those strings that Symphony series. Basically, Native Instruments are doing a whole line of orchestral samples. They have strings library, brass library, and woodwinds. So I don't really use these that much. Like I said, kind of like on the strings, kind of just layering. But to me, these are too buzzy. They're just like, I mean, for epic music, I'm sure these will just sound really good. But it's not really the kind of sound I'm like looking for or like. But I got them. Like I said, I just haven't really dove into the library very much because I tried using it in a couple tracks. It was just way too powerful. Just didn't go with the sound that I normally go for. But yeah, like I said, I like brass libraries, and horns is probably my favorite instrument. So this is a brass solo instrument. Again. It just has a different sound. It's workable. It's playable. It's just not the sound that I like. Like I said, I like the compared to that, you know, the 12-horn ensemble. It just, to me, that sounds like horns to me. I just like it. All right, so then here we go. Now, this library right here, Sample Modeling Brass, is probably the best brass library you could probably get right now. But I have to. There's a warning. This library, you gotta tailor it. I mean, you gotta really know what you're doing. There we go. You gotta have a really good reverb, and you gotta know how to use reverb to get these horns to sound real and good. Because let me turn off the reverb, and you'll just hear it. This is what it will sound like if you don't. And you just go, that sounds like crap. But it's the way they record the library. They require it very dry, very closed, everything. But there's a reason why. Because once you get your reverbs, and you can mess with the sound so much, I think this is the closest I think anybody's ever gotten to a virtual instrument sounding almost identical to a real instrument, to my ears. I could be wrong, but and the playability is right there. If you're a keyboard player and you like to play, your lines and play all your parts, you'll love this library. And like I said, this, like a Venture Brass, they're very similar in the way the playability, which is why I like it. But I'm just so used to Cinna Brass that once you get used to something, it's hard to start new. But I have this library, and I have to just dive into it. But there's just so much here. Hold on. I didn't bring up the interface. Because a lot of this stuff is, you have to have CC stuff, CC11. It says CC11 not received. So I have to set my CC11, which I thought I did. There we go. Now it's off. That was the first thing that ever happened to me when I opened this library. I didn't have my CC11 mapped, and like nothing was happening. Like, it was so low, and I was like, what is going on? Hold on, I gotta set my modulation here. That's another thing I'm doing. I'm in the midst of assigning all my MIDI CCs to. I'm actually trying to use my 88 MIDI controller here because it has faders up here. So I'm trying to make everything so simple. I'm trying to, but the problem is I don't know how to set it automatically for every instrument. So I'm going in probably the hard way. But there's a little thing Cubase called Note Expression. If you go in here, you can set all your CCs, you know, really quickly, but it's per instrument. So, you know, if you have 12,000 tracks or 1,200 tracks like I do, it's going to take you a while. So that's what I'm in the midst of doing as well. But let me see here. So this is all the stuff you can map. I mean, it's you got to really know what you're doing, but you can set all your parameters. You can do a breath control or all this stuff, and I mean, that's why it can sound so amazing. Because I've heard mock-ups of people using sample modeling, and it's so beautiful. I think they make strings and woodwinds, some of the woodwinds too. But yeah, it's sample modeling. Definitely check it out. It's a library that you really have to learn. I'll just leave it at that. So it's in my template. I don't use it much yet because I have to really play with it. Learn it, basically. Alright, so that's pretty much my brass. Like I said, my go-to brass is Cinna Brass, a Pro and Core. And I want to learn adventure brass and sample modeling. And I just have Symphony series in there. I do have Albion's, which they have Ensemble brass, you know, patches, which I could probably put in the template as well. The layer, which I know a lot of people do, they layer like Albion, like those Ensemble patches and that stuff. But like, you know, like I said, I like to keep it simple. I don't like to get bogged down in all that stuff. I don't think you need all that stuff to make your music appeal to people. You know, it's what you write and how you write it. So here we go. Percussion. We can get crazy with percussion. So I got some action strikes, which is a native instruments. You know, it's kind of like you just press down one button and it will do the, you know, do the percussion for you, like percussion beds. So, you know, that sometimes is to stimulate ideas. I'll use it, and then build on top of it, or just try to get an idea going and then maybe take it out and put my own in there. I like to build my own percussion. So, you know, that's another thing. It makes it real. We got, I think it's Area Colossal Toms. I picked this up a long time ago. Haven't really used it in any tracks, but they're just toms. So, I mean, you can, but they sound pretty good. So if you need some toms and stuff like that, definitely great. Let me see who makes. I forgot who makes this. Aria Sounds. So this is the interface. You can, you know, deep toms. You can close them off. But yeah, don't have much to say about it because, like I said, I haven't really used it. I just kind of put it in the template. Think, oh, one day I'll get to it, you know, kind of thing. So we got Albion 1 here. This is what I was saying about, you know, if you're just getting started in this, it's probably the best to pick up Albion 1 or Metropolis Arc by Orchestral Tools. They're the ones that did Berlin Strings I was talking about. They came out with their own type of library called Metropolis Arc. But the only thing about that is everything, it's a very loud library. So if you're looking for soft and delicate for the stuff like that, it won't work. You know, everything is mezzo forte and forte, I think. So very loud. So if you're really into epic music or that, you know, bombastic stuff, definitely go Metropolis Arc. I would say if you have the money, get Albion 1 as well, but I would just go Metropolis Arc. I haven't used it, but I've heard it, and definitely if you're looking to do that type of music, Albion 1 is really nice. It comes with it, like it's a starter. It comes with everything that you would need to get started. You know, it comes with strings, brass ensembles, wood ensembles, and percussion. And I use the percussion out of here. The Easter Islands, really nice. They got a lot of low stuff. There we go. I wasn't hearing it. You guys were. Sorry. So, you know, very bombastic, loud, you know, sub-type stuff, which is perfect. Don't really use that much. I use the cymbals quite a lot. I really like the cymbals. The Darwin Percussion Ensembles. Good. Yeah, it's got all the toms and stuff like that. So it's, like I said, Albion 1's a great library to get started. Albion 2 comes with percussion as well. Got Ezdrummer. One thing I use a lot is these sub hits and a lot of stuff. They're really nice. They work really well in tracks. So that's my go-to right there. So like I said, Albion 2, worth the money is those flaunt strings and those sub hits. I've gotten my money's worth using those. It's got little swells, toms, fine drums, and a day. Island Hits 2, Metal Shop. You know, just more percussion. So I got Cinna, the whole Cinna. They used to have it all breaking up into different. I think it was like 5 different libraries. Well, they combined it all into one. I really recommend getting Cinna if you're looking to do more traditional, you know, orchestral music. But you can still get some, you know, boombastic sounds out of these two, because they have their let's see, big perk down here with, you know, taiko pseudos and rototoms and monster low hits. And the monster low hits, man, really nice. Pull these up. Boom. You know, so it's kind of like the Albion 1 patch I showed you. So, but the thing about Cinna is you got all your basics covered with percussion. You got your timpani, your snares, your toms, your cymbals, you know, xylophone, glockenspiel. I mean, everything. If you're gonna look to do orchestral music, you got it right here. Everything you need and more. You got ethnic stuff, so definitely check it out. Definitely, if you're looking for a well-rounded percussion. I use this percussion library all the time. I guess that's probably what defines a lot of my sound, is because I use a lot of sample stuff and got that, you know, John Williams, you know, classic film scorey sound. But I'm not John Williams. I don't think I sound like John Williams at all. I don't try to be like John Williams. But it's got that sound. So this is a Cinna harp from Cinna Samples. And then I have a Spitfire harp too, which is really nice. Let's see. I think it's this one. I haven't used it in a while. I usually go to the Cinna Samples one. Yeah. Because the thing about Spitfire VI instruments, if you don't know, is they have reverb baked into them already. They have the room. So like, if you don't want to get bogged down with reverb stuff and setting up your own reverbs, that's why Spitfire's instruments are really great, because it's all baked in. You could just use what their reverbs have, and you'll get a great sound. Same with Cinna Samples too. They have reverbs built in, but I use the closed mics. So Spitfire harps, I like that. I like to use it more. Sometimes I blend it with the Cinna harp a little bit more. So here's Damage. This is Native Instruments. It comes with, you know, if you get complete, I think they're up to 11 now. You know, it comes with it. So it's used in pretty much, you probably have heard it in every, you know, trailer. It's been overused a lot. I don't think a lot of people are using it. They're still using it today, but probably like this Armageddon ensembles really are. You know, big bombastic stuff, and then the epic drums, pedals. I know you've heard that, and probably cymbals, their hits, hit impacts. I just put them in there because I never know when I need them. That kind of stuff. Drums War. These I just picked up because Cinna Samples sell right now. You know, it's in the same vein as pretty much all these other libraries. I got your Ensemble. This is an older library though. There we go. Oh, there you go. Well, they pretty much all sound similar to that. You know, just more intensity, stuff like that. This is an older, very old library. I think they updated it though. They did update it, yeah. I just got these, so I don't really know too much about them. I'm still learning them. So far, what I got them for on sale, worth the price. And then there's Drums of War 2, just a continuation of Drums of War. You get a lot more patches with this. Similar vein. And then we got this library right here. HZ01. It's Hans Zimmer Percussion by Spitfire. If you're looking to do epic music and a boom bass, this is a must-have in your library. You have to have it. Great sounds. I mean, I use this all the time. Low booms. Even if you're not trying to go for Hans Zimmer sound or whatever, I mean, they're still a great library. I love the pseudos or the surdos. Where are they at? Oh, yeah. There it is, right here. This low hit, I think it's surdo. They just boombastic. Sound really good. So these are the Junkie XL mixes. I just have them on full, but you can, you know, tailor all your mics right here. You can mess with the boom, the crack, response, really tailor the sound to them. And they got little rolls right there. And those are just basically 2 keys here and the 2 keys up here. One little quick tip I like to do is, you know, like a real drummer, when they're pounding on the drums, you know, they switch left, right. So I do that with my MIDI as well. I go left, right. I never have the same key hit it twice in a row. Because, you know, that's just not real. So that's my favorite out of this whole thing. The taikos are really, really good. Taiko ensembles. Blend those with those surdos. Sound powerful. They got timpanis in here as well. I wouldn't say there is, you know, like this Cinna perk. I would, you know, if you want timpanis, I don't know how well you could get. I mean, they could get the job done, but if you're looking for more, you know, classical approach, or pull up the orchestral, I would go with Cinna perk. But as you can tell, they're not as boombastic as those Hans Zimmer ones. So that's Hans Zimmer. So I got Master Sessions Ensemble medals. Haven't really used this library too much, but you just never know when you're gonna need like that pedals and stuff and kegs, and just never know when you're gonna need it. But this is by Heaviosity. We already went through there, and then I got Ezdrummer in here. Actually, it's Ezdrummer 2. Great library. I use this a lot if I'm doing like rock or tracks like that. And you just never know when you're gonna need real drums. A little bit too much reverb on that. I wouldn't put that much reverb. Probably needs to go to the stereo out bus. a lot better. Or make a separate bus for this. But I guess if you're using a rock drum in your piece, you want it to kind of be in the same room, so you might want to have it there. So that's basically my percussion libraries. The choir, this is trying to build these and try to find good choir libraries. There's so many out there, but Voxos is probably like this is Cinna samples, of course. My main one I go to. I like it. It depends. A lot of people do or don't like it, but if you're, I've heard more of like if you're doing film scores. Film scoring music, this is the one to go to. Yeah, so it's got everything you need. The chords are really nice too. I use these a lot. They basically have that's an A major, an A minor. That's basses. The whole choir singing the chord, an A major chord. They got this style or this version of A major, this one. So you have 3 different types of majors there. It's minor. 3 different A minor chord. But it's got all the from C, the whole every chord you need, in major and in minor. So it's really nice. I layer that. I'll layer, I'll put that down for for the chord of the choir, and then I maybe do a phrase build or stuff like that. So I just build on top of that, and it's got soprano, and then it's got octaves and a solo boy. But I like it. I'm not a big choir person, but if a lot of epic music has all that choir stuff in it. So this is Vocalese. I haven't used this much either. I just kind of put it in here in case someday I need to use a vocal line. Let's see. I got Venus and Mars, which I haven't used much. These are really good libraries from what I've read and stuff. I haven't. It's got all it's got your standard, everything you would need. Venus is the women, and Mars is men, of course. Pretty identical library, but it's just men and just females on Venus, which is Voxos has got both. All right. So this is a patch I found within Omnisphere. I have to give credit to Daniel James. I saw him on a stream use it once, and I love the sound of it. So it's a Japanese children's choir. It just sounds amazing. Definitely good for melodies. Go ahead. It's just amazing. This is an Omnisphere, and it blends very well for string lines and have that vocal line going. I've used it in a couple tracks, and it just help it. Like I said, I have to give credit to Daniel James for him using it on a stream. And this is a Clara library. I think it's free. Yeah, it is a free library, and it's really nice. This was like one I had, before I bought any Clara libraries, and used it, and it's very usable. When you don't have anything, you use what you can. It was free and works. Like I said, it works really nice. It's got a little effects rack here you can add to it. And then this is phrases. He does. Maybe. Oh. Oh, there we go. So it's just, you know, it's just a phrase, different phrases. I mean, you know, it's like you could use it and blend it with other stuff, but you know, it's kind of limiting to those phrases. That's it. So that's pretty much all the choir libraries. Like I said, it's my weakest out of all of my libraries because I'm just not a big choir person. And these are synths. Most of these are just standard Cubase. You can find a Cubase. I have Omnisphere, FM8. So FM8 is in, if you buy complete, you'll get that. It's with native instruments. Same with Massive. But Padshot, Mystique, all these are within Cubase. I'm not a big synth person, but I just put them in the template because never know when I need it. You know, if I'm doing a hybrid type of score, you know, and it calls for a synth, well, I can call one up. Omnisphere, if you're looking for a synth to get started, and probably one that you don't really, you know, if you have complete and you get FM8, Massive, and all that, you'll be fine. And if you have Cubase, you know, you have these in here, so you have plenty of synth sounds. But Omnisphere, I would say, is a great synth. It's just, there's so much stuff in here. I mean, I haven't even cracked the surface. I haven't even cracked it yet, and of all the stuff it has. And then you can buy expansions, the Unfinished. Just Google his name and you'll find it. I don't have any. But people make patches for Omnisphere. It's beautiful. It's like I said, I found that, you know, that's where that Japanese boys choir was from. So they have all that stuff, you know, in here. There's so much stuff you can do with Omnisphere. Like I said, I don't know Omnisphere that well. You just alone, you could do so much with it, and it takes so much time. So I apologize that I don't have a lot to say on it, but got everything you need. And you could build your own synths. That's the thing. So if you're a tweaker, you can go in there and build your own sounds. But I'm not one of them people. I use almost a preset person. I'll tweak a little bit. But I mean, there's stuff in here that you can just press a button, and score, you know, a lot of a film. Like, there you go. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I'm just saying. So, like, you know, there's a little part in a film that just needs a little underscore. There's plenty of patches. I mean, one of the reasons I bought Omnisphere is I have an ambient project that I do called Imperfect Silence. You can find some videos up on YouTube at Todd K. Edwards. It's YouTube/ Todd K. Edwards. And that's why I got it, because I was working on an EP for it, and I kind of got distracted with this orchestral stuff, and so I kind of abandoned it, but I'm gonna get back into it. Okay. But I do post ambient, kind of like little improvisations on guitar, ambient guitar. I'll just improvise stuff and looping and stuff like that. So that's why I got this, because it got a lot of ambient stuff, and so I was hoping to use it on that project. I gotta get back into. And then I got some mix textures and effects. This is just like from a free library, I think, that I got. Just, you know, booms, risers, you know, stuff for trailers. I just never knew if I was ever going to use this stuff, so I just put them in there. I'm sure it's going to grow, or, you know, if I find more stuff, or if I get into that kind of music, you know, for work and jobs, you know, I'll have to grow that. But it's just in there for right now, Mr. Text and Effects. But that's pretty much my template. I kind of wanted to do music tonight, but that we were just struggling. Felt like I've never went through my template before. So I figured I should do it. I always like watching, you know, other people streaming and YouTube and stuff to show off their templates, because you get ideas of like, oh, I've never heard of that instrument, or you know, and that gives you something to you like or something. That's so nice. I think I'm gonna have to make a track this piano.